Hey guys, Seán here for another episode of the Any Given Runday Podcast. And just before we get started here, we actually recorded a full episode on, we talked about Conor doing his 5k in 19 minutes 39 seconds. And a lot of that he put it down to doing interval running. He was interval running 3 times a week, and he was doing a different pace. Like he was doing 570 meters by 8 with 90-second break, and then then he was doing like 400 meters by 8 different days, and then he was doing 1 kilometer for as fast he can, or try to get in under 4 minutes. It was kind of like a beep test. So he had 320 meters, for example, and he had to do it in I can't remember exactly what it was, but let's say it was 2 minutes. So at the end of 2 minutes, he had to hit that 320 meters, and he really put that down to doing doing those interval runs to try and get to a sub 5k, a sub 20 minute 5k, which he did. And in the second half of the podcast, we talk about just different types of injuries, shin splints, IT band syndrome, that kind of thing, runner's knee. And the main conclusion from all of it was that a lot of people, even though you might have pain in that area, there's an imbalance somewhere else, so the area has to work a lot more. So for example, runner's knee, the pain underneath the patella, underneath the kneecap, a lot of that could be down to, you need to straighten up your glutes, and if you straighten up your glutes, everything else will fall into place, and you mightn't have as much of a problem with runner's knee. There's a couple of other examples like that as well. Hamstring injuries, basically for doing too much quad exercises and you're not having balances in that. Plantar fasciitis, so if you pains in your feet and stuff with too much running, if you straighten your quads, your glutes, that could have a balance to it. You might have bad hip flexors, and because of that, your feet are working too much, and that's how the plantar fasciitis happens there. So there's a few different examples like that, and basically we summed it all up that people need to do just a little bit more strength training. There's muscle imbalance there, so if you work on your quads and stuff with squats and lunges, then you need to work the back of the legs more with like single leg deadlifts, that kind of exercise. So work your muscle imbalances, and then we also say get a mini band, and with the mini band do different like lateral walks, do your squats. So with a mini band, if you wrap a mini band just above your knee, it's gonna want to bring your knees in together. But if you do the exercise and keep working on pushing those knees out, that works on that works on your glutes, that works on pushing those knees out, and through that you can strengthen those glutes, having the glutes fire rather than different muscles, your calves, knees, etc. That's going to make you a stronger runner, and it's going to reduce your risk of injury. And you're probably saying, Seán, you're after summing up all the podcast in 2-3 minutes. Why did you do that? Well, this is exactly why I did that. We're not going to play that podcast for you. We might play that podcast for you down the line. So instead of that full podcast, because I've just summarised it there in 3 minutes, and it was a very interesting podcast, especially kind of talking about his getting the sub 5k. I just felt like I waffled on a lot about injuries and stuff. Unless you've got a particular injury, it may not have been that interesting, so I take full blame on that. What you are going to hear though is the very end of that podcast. Aaron stinging me on a joke there because I mentioned glutes so many different times that, like I just said there, working on your glutes, I find, especially with that mini band, I find is so good for reducing the risk of injury. So what you're about to hear is the very end of that podcast that should have been out today, along with just our 20-25 minute conversation on pretty much all things running and what's going on in our heads right now. So I hope you enjoyed this laid back episode of the podcast. I feel like it's something different that you will find a lot of value out of. Let us know on Facebook and Instagram at Any Given Runday Official, especially DM us, join us on that Facebook group as well, Any Given Runday Official, Any Given Runday Run Club, to keep motivated, keep on track with your running goals. And that's it pretty much for me. So enjoy this off the cuff episode of Any Given Run Day.
Anyway, my rant is over, Seán. I'm sorry, I brought it down, but I just have to get it out.
You just see the eyes of Aaron, it's the whole, listen, seriously.
You better leave me alone.
And on that note, I suppose, anyone else anything to add before we wrap up this episode of the podcast?
Seán, how many minutes a week do you spend thinking of your glutes and other people's glutes? And
Yes, I love when I poke Aaron. He comes out with something great.
On that note, guys, thank you for listening to this episode of the Any Given Runday podcast. Don't forget to share the podcast on your Instagram stories. Follow us actually add yourself onto the Any Given Day Run Club, where I can find out more details about your glutes and give you all the help you need on that. No, Aaron. Yeah. Thanks again for listening to this episode of the podcast, guys. That's it from all four of us. Take care.
Bye.
Very well recovered, sir.
I thought on that, right, whenever you were first chatting about glutes, because you said it about 3 times, and then I was like, okay, I can see this now. It would be very funny, but it'll bring it off the topic of conversation that he wants to say, right? They speak about. So I'll save it, right? And I'll throw it in at the end and see how it goes down.
Yeah,
I was delighted that Eric decided to pick on me there today. So that was the perfect change the topic of conversation. Bam.
Something to get you going. But that was genuinely one of the comments I got last week was like, I was really disappointed that Aaron didn't give me more on the watch. Because people are looking at buying watches now and they're actually kind of hoping to get some better feedback from you. They're a bit disappointed that you only gave 3 lines and that was it. They were kind of like, for fuck's sake.
All right. Yeah. Well, I don't know. I'll give it a go, but sure, whatever.
We'll just pick out like your 3 favorite things of it, like, and put that up, like.
Yeah, but like the thing is, I haven't explored them all yet. So are they really my 3 favorite things? You know, that way.
I don't know, Dora.
If it goes up on your 3 favorite things, mate.
Yeah.
No, it can be your 3 current favorite things.
You
edit
have
3 things.
Do you have Garmin Pay, Lawless?
I haven't used it yet. No.
Garmin Pay.
Have you got it set up?
No.
On your watch?
No.
Right.
Because I don't imagine, like, my priority is a running watch, not to go to the shop.
He bought this because it had Garmin Pay on it.
Just your fucking wallet or your phone.
Well, the thing is, the reason why I bought this watch was because, first of all, it has all this, like, well, okay. First of all, it has, you know, all these, it's long battery life, right? Which I don't like charging stuff up. I hate charging my phone.
Yeah.
I hate plugging shit in. So, like, that it lasts a week, so that's great. The Garmin Pay thing is handy because, you know, I won't have to buy another, you know, big expensive watch in the space of like 5 years. Expect to kind of have it for that long or thereabouts. And then it's kind of handy with all the fitness stuff. Sure, whenever I want to, you know, give that a go again, I can just bang into it, you know.
So you bought a fitness watch to pay for groceries?
Well, it's just that, say the reason why I'm thinking of this is
for
that, say if I go out to the supermarket or say I go on a night out, or say I go on a drunken night out, let's just say this, and I lose my wallet, and then my phone dies, and then I have to try and pay for something.
Doomsday watch so you can buy extra points.
No, I'm using the watch so I can pay for the taxi home.
The taxi which won't take card or
taxis these days have to take cards, so you can just shut up there now.
Yeah, Paul.
I assume they can take watch as well then.
I think if you wanted something like that, you should have just got like one of those Apple watches.
Not the watch.
Yeah, but the thing is that I'm more. But like the thing is, the Apple Watch only lasts 18 hours. The Apple Watch only lasts 18 hours. Like, what's the fucking point?
I know, yeah, but your Garmin, if you use it for running, only lasts about 4 days if you're running a lot. Like,
yeah, that's if you're running a lot. Like, that's a week.
He doesn't plan on running a lot, you see, so he gets a week out of it.
Yeah, like, I don't know, like, it's
like the pace thing on it that I was looking at, and it was just a bit annoying because I just tried to do it, but it was like it was giving me like my kind of like intervals. I wanted to do like the 5K at a certain pace, then it was giving me either plus or minus whatever time I was coming in on, if you know what I mean, every kilometer. Yeah. So it was giving me like, or even live feedback, it was giving me that I was 13 seconds up, and then I was like, you know, a minute down, 2 minutes down.
Yeah.
On the time it wanted, which was pretty handy.
But that's cool. Like, I haven't even discovered them features just because that's not how I'm training. Like I know, like starting a race, like doing my 5K, all I wanted to do was run under 20 minutes. I didn't care if it was 19:59. So I just knew I had to be. That feature would have been great because I was just mentally going, all right, there's 3:58. That's 2 seconds in the bag. Yeah. And then I go through the next one. there's 4 minutes. I still have 2 seconds.
But remember, you did it one time. You're like 5 seconds off or something like that. Like if you would have sprinted for, I don't know, 10 seconds, that would have been your 5 seconds. You had
I know, yeah, but at the time I was running at the 4:05 pace because it shows what pace you're currently doing. So I was just trying to be constant with pace, so not up and down. So I could have done it, but we were talking about, that was how my program was going: 4:20, 4:15, 4:10, 4:05, 4 minute, and then just break it and then move away from 5K.
The Nike Run app has that, where every kilometer it tells you, I think it tells you how far your pace went up and down.
Yeah, and if you're setting a target,
yeah. So if you keep saying, you start in the first kilometer and the second kilometer, it's like you ran it in 4 minutes and 40 seconds, 13 seconds. I think it is, because I knocked it off to annoy me. But now just say if you start doing like a 4 minute kilometer, it's actually pretty good rather than keep looking at the thing. Conor, you had the Nike Run app. Did it have that? Where it told, what did it tell you after every kilometer? I knocked it off like a year, 2 years ago, so I can't remember. I think it does say 13.
It's a long time since I've used it now, but I remember like you had the earphones in, it would be like, oh, you've done 1 kilometer, time, whatever it is, average pace.
Average pace, and then how fast or slow you were at the last kilometer, I think. Or maybe it was just the average pace that changed and you just did it.
Average pace.
Add that feature on to whatever. Like I know the run, what was the normal Run Keeper or something like that? Or
My Run Keeper,
Map My Run or something like that. That used to always do that. It would go like your pace, total time, and total distance or whatever it was. And I would do it every kilometer.
That's a free app.
Yeah.
So you spent 350 quid then just to
but like this, it gives you a projection of what you should be able to do it on, or what you should be able to do it like.
Whereas Map My Run was just
Buds, word of advice, right? Take this week, right, and just play with it. Like do a couple of runs, and then like seriously go into like the heart rate, the cadence, the respiration, all that shit, right? You will absolutely go down a rabbit hole, right? I didn't give a shit before I got the Garmin about any of that stuff, right? And once you have the info in front of you, it's hard not to want to get your resting heart rate down, to get all your exercise minutes, all this shit.
Well, what's your resting heart rate, Conor?
54, I think.
Jesus Christ, that's very high. Mine's 50.
Let's double check now.
Yours is not 50.
It probably is.
Sorry, 57.
Best man I've ever known.
57.
57? Nolan, you're not fit, man. How is it 57?
That's giving me the average here. So like earlier on.
Yeah, what was it when you were sleeping last night?
I woke up to mine being 50.
Oh, mine was 47 at the lowest point
Fitbit.
last night.
What's yours, Aaron?
Show you here now.
It says 62, but I had a few drinks last night.
62?
62? And you're running sub 25 Ks. Are you putting your watch on a dog? You are not fit, man.
Here's the.
Boats are coming in now.
You
69, Aaron. 67. Oh, that's your current at 66.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but he was 50 last night. Look, he was 50.
He was 50. Fair play.
You can see, like, as in, like, when I go for a run, my heart rate just skyrockets.
Yeah, mine's at 60 now, but it's 55.
50.
My lowest was 47 last night, so whatever. Like,
does it have a resting heart rate throughout the day?
Yeah, it gives you that.
And what's that then?
It's like 51 or 52.
That's very low.
He's the fit man.
I'm not fit at all. I'm not fit at all.
That is the one thing that concerns me, like, with the running, because like my heart rate is like, I correct me if I'm wrong, but like it looks like it's exceptionally high for all of these.
Well, running, well, like, it's supposed to be 220 minus your age. So if you're at 195, like, that's dangerous.
Well, like, you look at like, but it's not even like
that's max. Then
Like, let's go back to my 5K.
Like, he's on 195. That's, what is it? If he goes up 2 beats per minute, what AG you got? No.
Yeah, but that's like plus or minus 5 to 10 beats per minute, depending on the person. Like that 220 minus your age is not exact science. It's like saying, difference between miles and kilometers is 6/10, whereas not exact.
So there's my average for one day there. 51 and 122 is the highest.
You didn't go running that day.
Nope.
Like, you can see that here, right?
So I did that day.
That's my heart rate during the 5K, right? Now, 198 is the max that I hit, but it stayed pretty well at that for most of it. I was in...
What's your breathing like during that, Conor?
It's all right. That's something that I do have to really focus on keeping it measured. So I go, kind of per... like foot stroke, so I go almost like in, out, that kind of way. Like, so that makes sense. Just feels stupid doing that.
Yeah, no, I get you. No, just curious. I know mine. It takes me 2K to get settled in. Like, even if I'm doing, like, even last week when I did a 10 mile, the first 2 mile, I'm like, I'm not going to be able to do 10 miles today. What's going on here? Me breathing all over the place. And the third mile, I just kind of go, and then I settle into it. I'm good to go.
It's like, for that 5K, like, for over 15 minutes, I was in zone 5, like.
I don't know how you lasted 5K at that pace.
Yeah.
With your heart rate that high.
Eric, what was your, like, for your 5K with the 1946?
My resting heart rate's 42.
Jeez.
And I don't think I went above 165, I think, for my 5K.
Well, you're just lazy there.
But your diaphragm was actually, like, mad at the end of the 5K, so you couldn't breathe at the end of it, you were saying.
Yeah, it's the diaphragm. Once I hit around the 3K mark, my diaphragm goes into a spasm. I think it's just because I'm not used to running that fast or breathing that hard. But
yeah, you should maybe try meditation.
I've been doing diaphragmatic breathing on it. I reckon I could probably hit an 18-minute 5K if I hadn't got that pain, because I'm not struggling at all.
By diaphragm pain, are you, like, feeling your ribs, or what's going on? Like, is it like a really sore stitch, or what's it feel like?
No, the whole way across, just below the ribs. It's
nasty.
Best way I can describe it is, did you ever get a kick in the stomach or a punch in the stomach or an accidental hit in the stomach and you're winded?
Mm-hmm.
That's the pain.
Oh.
So I can't breathe. Like, I had to lie on the ground gasping for air at the end of it. Not because of fitness, just because the diaphragm has gone into an absolute spasm. So, I did a bit of research into it. I was a bit worried about it, so Chantel kind of did a little assessment on me, but it all is fine. But apparently it is a thing that happens with runners, and diaphragmatic breathing before and after can help. But I think it's just something that I'm just not used to going at that pace for that long. Like, so.
Anything to do with your core muscles?
No, not necessarily, because my core has been the strongest it's been in. I've been doing the 30-day fucking abs, so, like, I'm not sure, but no, it's definitely, I'd say it's like, even if you feel right in between, like, if you push your 2 fingers in between your solar plexus there, and that feeling like there's something in your stomach, that's what I feel when I get to around 3K. When you push in.
Did you do that in intervals as well, or what?
No, the intervals are fine. It's just because I think the diaphragm works, and then it has a break. Works, and then it has a break. So, I don't know, like, but what's bizarre is I'll run a 4:10 and there'll be no problem. Like, I only felt the issue when I went for the sub 20, because I think it was because I had to start quicker as well. So most of my runs I start slow and I get quicker.
Did you run before your run as well?
Yeah, do a little kilometer warm up, like, just to ease into it.
Okay.
So, yeah, it's a bizarre one. I'm not quite sure on it. It was quite frustrating because I had so much in the tank, I just couldn't breathe. And even though I was still breathing right, but my stomach was in a good bit of pain. Like, my heart rate was still in the 160s. Like, I wasn't spiking, or I wasn't feeling like, geez, I'm absolutely fucked. It was just
when I'm doing those runs, like I'm absolutely on the edge. Like once I hit that 5K, it's like you're not going to do any more now.
Yeah.
It's all out, just fucking torture.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. I didn't collapse, but I just dropped down in the middle of the road as soon as I did my last 5K there last Monday. I was like nearly getting sick and everything. It's a horrible feeling, like, because I get to the top of the hill and like how long's left? I'm like, oh, I only got 500 meters. This seems really easy. And then I just had like trying to sprint. And then I actually, the last time I did it, I got to 4.9 and I genuinely had nothing left in me. I crawled the last 10 meters or so. Just like, actually no, 100 meters. I crawled the last 100 meters because I had nothing left in me. I knew I was going for the personal best, and I just got like sauntering through because like I could not push anymore because I pushed in the end too fast. But Eric, would you not you're saying you go back to long runs now? Would you not try to train that by like doing that once every 2 weeks or stuff, or is it just too painful?
I'm
training.
I just didn't enjoy how much pain I was in for how little calories I burnt. I run so I can eat loads, and I burned 400 calories, and my stomach felt like shit, like right across my ribs felt like shit for 2 days. So, but I am training for the hour and a half marathon, and in that there's runs where I have to go at a 3:20, 3:30 pace for about 10, 15 minutes. So I reckon I'm gonna get that training in there.
Yeah.
So, but in terms of the short runs, I just don't enjoy them. I have a fitness test to do very shortly, actually. So I'm gonna try and smash that one. It's only 3.2k. So I'm gonna do that at a 3:30, 3:45 pace. Because I know I can get to the 3k, and that's not gonna be hard. Like
it's after that.
What's the time you have to do then? The fitness test.
Grade 1 is 12 minutes 30 seconds. So you need to be running just under a 4-minute K pace to get that. But I'm gonna just smash it, yeah.
Yeah, cool.
We should all give that a go.
Should
all give that a go, actually.
Yeah. The army fitness test. So they've opened up the cadetships, and that's only 2.4k in 11 minutes or something. So it's handy, but
also too old for the army cadetships this stage.
Yeah, but
old man gotta be the old man.
Yeah, like the lads, like Oisin Harney and stuff. He's a good runner. He's actually done as Achilles tendon. Actually, funny you mentioned it there today. He's looking at my stats and he's like, "There's no reason you can't do 18-minute 5k." And so they all want me to train it and see how close I can get to the 18 minutes, but it's just too painful. It's not even. The other way you can be uncomfortable, but you push through.
Yeah,
it's beyond uncomfortable. It's like someone's constantly kicking me in the stomach.
You're really lucky you are not a woman and have to go through childbirth.
Yeah,
because literally someone would be kicking you in the stomach then.
Yeah.
I think he's the problem. The whole bowling ball going through a garden hose problem there, being with childbirth.
But it was that bad at the end of that run that I couldn't. It was like I fell on my back and was winded. I was rolling on the ground just trying to get air in, like in the fetal position. Because I knew that's what I had to do. I wasn't panicking. I just knew it was winded, but it went on for 5+ minutes, and I was starting to get worried. So
after.
While I was there, I had to add, one of the lads was out on a run. I was just like, "Would you mind just stand there for a minute?" He's like, "Yeah, all right." I was like, "I'm just winded, and it just hasn't passed in a while." So, yeah. So whatever it is with the old diaphragm, but I'd love to run 18-minute 5k. I think I can because my intervals, like I'm running like a 3:20, 800 meter. So yeah, I don't know. Like it's just whatever it is about the diaphragm. So. It's hard to know. It would be an experiment in itself, but it's very painful. It's as I don't know. Like it's like you and your calves, Seán. You know it's gonna hurt, so you're reluctant to go through it. So, and for 400 calories for 5k, like because my heart rate isn't even going that high.
You wouldn't even get a pizza for that.
That's what I'm saying. So I'd rather
those gluten-free based pizzas for that.
Yeah. But like I'd rather run for an hour listening to a podcast and burn 1,000 calories. Like. It's just
what would you get then if you like ran for an hour?
Pizza.
Calories wise?
Now he perks up like the food. He's like, "Oh, here we go."
What food would you get if you ran for an hour then?
I know. I like during the week, like I just eat my regular dinners, but it means I'll have a dessert and a bar of chocolate guilt free. Like I won't even care, and I'll still be in a calorie deficit. Like I have a horrible sweet tooth, like terrible sweet tooth. So, like going on that run, and then I'll like dinner here. We get a dessert. Like I'll eat probably 2 of them, and I won't care because the lads will think I'm a savage. But I look at me watching and 4,000 calories burned for the day. I'm not taking on. Sean knows I'm useless at taking on the appropriate calories for the exercise, and then the days I don't exercise, I still keep eating the same way I did if I ran 2 hours. Like so, it's like last night I had a king prawn curry with fried rice and a large spice bag. None of it left.
Did they do that in the mess hall? Did they? Jeez,
no, I got it in the takeaway.
Oh,
but like that's like, but then like usually I'd go running today and I'd have burned that entire thing off and the rest of today's off, like because I was doing a 2-hour run today, so that's 2,000 calories gone already. Like
your diet is like the opposite of the 5-2 diet, where like 2 days a week you've got 500 calories and the rest you kind of eat normal or slightly higher, so at the end of the week kind of balance out. You're like the opposite of that. You eat so little for the 5 days, but fuck me, when it comes to the 2 days you're not running, the balance changes and you catch up.
I do, I'll balance it out, like, and it's but I do have a terrible sweet tooth, and I'm not going to change that. And that's one thing I run for. You know, like it's... So them 5Ks, I just didn't enjoy when I was hurting so much looking at my watch going, I've only burnt an extra 400 calories. Get fucked. No. I'd rather run slow for 40 minutes and I burn more calories.
So what's your favourite food then?
Favourite? As in what I would indulge would be a Chinese, yeah.
So literally you run like, so like a Chinese, it would be like 10K for you or something like that, or 20K.
What I had last night, yeah, be a good. It is to do it. I usually have a Chinese on a Sunday because I'll have done my long run, so I'll have ran about 20K, yeah. So I'd have burned around 2,000 calories or thereabouts.
So
on your normal calorie,
you just do you like picture and then a dream thing above you with just the Chinese and you just there running 20K.
Yeah, well that like.
See, think of it like this, what you say, like think of it now, right? If you ran a 20K, right, just think of what you could have then.
I hate doing this, but I think for Aaron it works. I think like he needs to have the 5K runs down like a sandwich run. He can have whatever sandwich he wants after that. Yeah. If he did a 20K run, he can have whatever Chinese he wants after that. You know, he's not allowed a Chinese after a 5K run, but if he does a 20K run, he's allowed it. I, as a personal trainer, I hate it, but I think it might actually work for you because it's the most you've talked in a long, long time.
I struggle with diets. I struggle like eating clean. I can do it Monday to Friday. I won't touch a sweet Monday to Friday, but I do need my fix on the weekend. It's not sustainable. And if I don't have my little fix on the weekend, I'll just go on a massive all-out binge and be worse off than I ever was. So, like, if I want a dessert, I'll go for my run, and it does motivate me. It genuinely does, because I want the dessert. So if I go and run in 10K, I'm like, yeah, I can eat whatever I want today. And the watch is great. I'm looking at the watch now, and I've burnt 1,200 calories from just being in bed. And if I went for a run, that's 2,000, and that's my daily allotted, and it's not even 2 o'clock. So anything else after that is a bonus.
What were you doing in bed? I'm only on 977.
I was 1250, but you don't want to know what I was doing.
I was awake till 2 o'clock last night. So
that's the steps. Jesus. Where's the calories?
You'll have to download a better watch face, man. I have everything. I must remember I have everything on one watch face here. So
let's see.
Lads, I'm gonna have to shoot on here now, because I told Sergio I'd help our thesis today.
Okay, cool. All right.
So that was good. I will chat to you during the week.
Hey, talk to you soon.
See you now.
No worries, big man. Take care.
Let's get a run in there, will you?
I'm gonna go for a run today, like.
Come on.
All right, see you there.
Look, lads.
Look.
Lads, I'm not gonna lie. The last 20 minutes was probably 20 times better content than the podcast itself.